necessarily tricking you. I think what it is the redemption is pretty big, right? And if you are a person who really never gets on an airplane, why get a airline reward card? Or if you only stay at a specific hotel, or if you really want cash, it really makes a difference because each one redeems differently in each one of those categories. And also, your spending patterns. Like, do you go out in restaurants? Do you travel? Are you grocery shopping? Are you buying gas with these things? A lot of these cards have very complicated reward bonus, right? 3 points for every dollar spent here, 2 points for every dollar spent here. It makes most people pretty dizzy. And what we're trying to do is just very simply present to you what you should be doing to earn the most amount of money from using a credit card. There's a couple things. One is a couple credit cards is okay in my opinion. Probably two. I, for example, have a Visa and an American Express, and does a couple things. One, it does help build your credit. I do pay off my credit card every month, and having that gap of how much of a credit line you have versus how much you spend, right? Your essentially your debt to available credit ratio is something that will help build your credit. And I prefer to use my credit card mostly for receipts and tracking as an individual, but paying off those credit cards means I get to earn a tremendous amount of reward points, and then I get to go spend on when I actually have time to travel outside of work on vacation. So I think credit cards have its place for folks that are disciplined, and having multiple credit cards is okay as long as don't let yourself get out of control. It's okay for a lot of folks to have a gas card, a credit card that they use for buying kind of everyday groceries and items, and another credit card maybe just for travel. But I definitely recommend people kind of keeping control of what happens, not letting that getting out of control. I think the big companies believe that lots of choices are good, but fundamentally a lot of it is built around obfuscation of services and products. And selling packages, and a great example would be television services. Are you Comcast, DirecTV, Dish? What should you do? And all I want to do is watch ABC and NBC. Understanding all of your options gets more and more complicated because A, of competition, and B, I think they're trying to create more dynamic pricing in the marketplace to get more customers, sell kind of promotionary pricing and products, package it sexier so that they can market it. And it actually is the opposite. What happens in the market is you get it's more confusing, and people understand, wow, this new service or plan is now out. How is that different from what I currently have? Is it the same thing, they're just calling it something different, which, by the way, a lot of cases is what happens, or is it really better, or is it worse? And so then you have consumers just kind of confused. There's a lot of things happening in the credit card market. One is the Credit Card Act of 2009, essentially the credit card holders' Bill of Rights. A lot of it is pushed through by Congress and the House, really trying to legislate some rules around helping consumers understand these bills and not getting exorbitant interest rates, not getting penalties on late fees, etc. There's a lot of really interesting laws that are going in effect, which again adds to a layer of confusion for people to say, well, which cards are fair, which ones aren't, which ones are complying with the law, and which ones are good for me as an individual. And so we're big proponents of that, and we actually have an interactive credit card bill holders a Bill of Rights on our website where we track every single card and which rules they're following, which ones they're not. And the industry is coming along, but fundamentally, no matter what service that we go and help people with, what we're finding is, gosh, the number of choices are unbelievable. And so working with Professor Thaler, looking at data, how do we help? How do we really help consumers figure all this out? Because if you look at your wallet and you look at your bills that you pay every month, we're touching things that are 20, 30% of household income.